When there's no more room in hell, the dead shall walk the earth. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well out there. Let's head off to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for some zombie apocalypse fun. But before we take that trip, please like, comment, subscribe. Join me here. I greatly would appreciate that. I just watched the other night that 4K disc from Second Sight. I got that from the UK. The best of films ever looked. I figured let's do some George Romero zombie reviews. We're going to do Dawn, Day, and Land of the Dead coming up. And we're going to do many other horror reviews as well. We'll do some more slasher films as well. But Summer Camp Slashers is over for now. But yes, after the success of Night of the Living Dead, George Romero went off to do Season of the Witch, The Crazies, Martin. And he decided to come back to the dead. And Dario Argento invited George Romero to come to Rome to write the script. And they made a deal. Dario Argento was kind of a producer on the film, and he was able to cut the film the way he wanted it for the European release. But yeah, so George Romero got the money, about $500,000, and he went off to the Monroeville Mall, and he made this little slice of zombie apocalypse heaven. Now, this is written and directed by George Romero. In the movie, we got David Emge as Steven. He works for this news station. He flies their helicopter. The great Ken Foray plays Peter. He's a member of the SWAT team in Pittsburgh. Scott Renninger plays Roger. He's also a SWAT team member. Galen Ross plays Francine. She works for the same news channel that Steven does, and they are a couple. And the great Tom Savini, besides he pulls triple duty here. He does stunt work for the film. He does the makeup effects, and he plays a biker in this film as well. And in the beginning of this film, we see this newsroom. People are panicked. They're trying to get news across. There's two guys on screen, a reporter interviewing the scientist, trying to get information out to the public about what is going on because the dead has come back to life and the zombie apocalypse is furthered since the Night of the Living Dead. And they're trying to get information out there, but the federal government's going to be taking over, and Steven wants Francine to come with him and get the hell out of there because the cities have become very unsafe. And we cut to Roger and Peter at this apartment building, and they're trying to get these people out, and the SWAT team goes in, and there's zombie mayhem in this building. The people are keeping these zombies in the basement, and some of these people don't want to kill them because they're family members. And that's when we get this famous line from, well, we get that speech from that priest, that one-legged priest, about, you know, there's more of them than you. And then they head off with Steven and Francine, and they're up in the air trying to find a place to hold up through this. And we get some commentary on the rednecks going through the fields shooting zombies, and the National Guard's out, which were real National Guard people and real rednecks that showed up for Romero as extras to shoot those scenes, which is cool. And then they stumble across this mall. And to fast forward through a lot of this, because if you're a horror fan, you've probably seen this or you saw the Zack Snyder remake, because Zack Snyder's remake definitely takes a lot from Romero's film. They hold up in the mall, they seal off the exits, they kill all the zombies inside, and they pretty much have what they think is a safe place and paradise for them to hold up in. There's food, there's guns, there's water, you know, there's clothing, and anything they could possibly want. And Romero definitely dives into some social commentary on consumerism, for sure. Because they even comment about why do the zombies keep showing up here, and they say about how this is an important place in their lives, and they don't know why. They just want to come here. It's something familiar to them because mall culture was beginning to be pretty big around this time when Romero made this movie, especially through the 80s and 90s. I mean, myself as a kid loved to go to the mall. Now malls really aren't that big of a thing. They're all outdoor malls now, but that's neither here nor there. And eventually this biker gang, who's been surviving on the road the whole time, decide to siege the mall. We get gun battles, zombie tearing people's limbs off and their intestines out, and some glorious graphic violence by the great Tom Savini. And Francine and Peter are the only two left, and they fly off, and that's the end of Dawn of the Dead. What to love about this film? Well, the writing by Romero. Yes, some of the acting's not the greatest. The zombie effects, the gore effects are fantastic. Now, the zombies themselves, and even Savini has admitted to this, that he wasn't happy with the way the zombies came to be on screen. He made a choice early on when they were discussing the film, him and George, that he was going to paint all the zombies gray because the first film was in black and white. Tom Savini didn't get to work on that one. He planned on, but he got shipped off to Vietnam. But Romero called him up for this one because they had worked together on Martin as well. And Savini said they were gray, but on film, in the light, they came out blue. And he's never been happy with the way the zombies look on screen. And if you've ever seen Day, which we will talk about, he made a huge improvement on Day. Those effects are amazing. But here, the gore effects are outstanding. The squib hits are great. There's a lot of carnage candy. I mean, this is a very graphic film. And Romero sent this out unrated. He knew he was going to get an X, and he didn't want to water down his vision. So instead of taking the X, because it limited you on ads that you could take out in a paper, he decided to release it unrated. And they say worldwide it has grossed $66 million, which was a lot of money on a $500 million budget. Now, this film was 2 hours and 7 minutes long. That was a theatrical release. There's a longer director's cut on that 4K than the European cuts on there as well. Now, they've shot this at Monroeville Mall. Romero had a connection with the mall. He got a tour there. That's what gave me the idea to set this up at the mall. And they allowed them to shoot at the mall. They were allowed to shoot from, I think, 11 o'clock at night till 7 in the morning. So it was a lot of night shoots to get this film in the can. Tom Savini and his cohort did a lot of the stunt work. As a matter of fact, you see him a lot if you look closely through some stunts throughout the film. Like, Savini does a lot of different roles. Just briefly, you see him flying around, especially when they're running the zombies over with the trucks. That's Savini a couple times, you can tell if you look close enough. I like the actors here. Some of the acting is not the greatest, I will admit that. But Ken Foree is always a treat to see on screen. And I think they all work pretty well together, even though, again, the acting's not the great. But I've always loved this film. This film, I love Night of the Living Dead. It's an absolute classic. I think this is a better film than Night of the Living Dead. Now, we'll talk about Day soon, because I really do like Day of the Dead too, Day of the Dead as well. But this is a classic Romero film, absolutely spectacularly the way it's put together. You can't beat it. Yes, I know there's some zombie makeup problems. And again, like I said, Savini is even admitted that he was never happy with the way they turned out on screen. And if he could go back and redo it, he would. But he definitely makes up for it on Day of the Dead, which we will talk about soon. But at the end of the day, this is a fantastic zombie movie. And Romero's the granddaddy of the zombie movies. We wouldn't have The Walking Dead or any of that stuff without Romero's movies. So at the end of the day, I would give Dawn of the Dead a 9.5 out of 10. I've always loved this film. It's a film I've been watching for a very long time. And if you love zombies, this is a great one to watch. So yes, 9.5 out of 10 for George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. What are your thoughts on this film? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share. It's really great. Would appreciate that. I'll be back soon with Day of the Dead and then Land of the Dead. And then we're going to move on with some other horror films. I got a whole list of ones that I can't wait to talk about with you folks. But until then, I hope you're all doing well out there. And bye.